Welcome to the Select Conference powered by United Masters. I'm your moderator, Goldie Harris. Nothing makes your music stand out more than a great video. In this session, Director's Cut, we're sitting down with legendary creator, Director X, Kid Art, and Cartier Brown, aka the Art Brothers. I'm super excited to jump into this conversation, but before we do so, I'll give you a brief background on all of our panelists. We have Director X, who's known for directing music videos for many of the world's top artists, including Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Rihanna, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Rosalia, Usher, John Mayer, Fifth Harmony, and many more. His work has been nominated and awarded by the MTV Music Video Awards and so much more. X has directed commercials for Apple Music, eBay, Virginia Black, and Gap's noteworthy Meet Me in the Gap campaign. Director X has also directed 3 feature films, Across the Line, Center Stage on Point, and Superfly. Using his platform for social change, Director X has founded Operation Prefrontal Cortex, an initiative created to reduce Toronto's gun violence through mindfulness and meditation. We also have Kid Art and Cartier Brown, also known as the Art Brothers. Starting his career in New York at a young age, Kid Art has risen to direct music videos for big names such as Drake, French Montana, Meek Mill, and T.I., among others. He co-founded the studio Charlotte Pictures with his brother and executive producer, Cartier Brown. Together, they've built Chariot Pictures to become one of the leading production companies in the industry that has received nominations and generated over 2 billion views to date. Kid Art has expanded to also shoot commercials for clients such as Pharrell Williams' Billionaires Boys Club and the beverage company Crevassier. Now Kid Art is diving into feature films by developing a new horror film written by Cartier, which is going into production this year. Now a background, everyone, let's jump right into it. The first question is for Director X. You were mentored by the legendary music video director, Hype Williams. You've gone from intern to directing award-winning music videos, feature films, and commercials featuring the most influential artists for the last 2 decades. You've also mentored Karina Evans, who's gone on to win the award for the BET Music Video of the Year for her work with Drake. Let's talk about the importance of having a mentor and then paying it forward.
It's great, man. Can't really plan for how it goes. You kind of just show up. Like, Hype wasn't looking for, a protege. I just showed up one day in the office. I was an intern. They're like, oh, that kid's all right. And I wasn't looking for a protege when Karina came around. She was an intern in the office. You're like, this kid's got something. And but it's good, man. It's good and just how it all flows. I find you give, and then you receive from the universe when you give properly, truly.
What was it about, like your mentee, like Karina, that stuck out? Like, what are some features, some personality traits that you are keen to in young music video directors?
I mean, honestly, I don't say it anymore because I used to do these interviews and kids would hear it and then they would try and copy what I said as opposed to actually having it. You feel what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I mean, and everyone's got something different, but you just got something. There's some people just got it. That's like people who book. You know what I mean? Actors who can book jobs. Dancers who book jobs, directors who book jobs, people who book. And there's just a part of that of what is. You know what I'm saying? And Karina's a director that books.
Got it. Art Brothers, how did you get your start into directing music videos? How are you able to work with artists like Meek Mill, Cardi B, and French Montana?
I mean, it really starts, really organic in our case. For us, and going back to what Director X said, it's just you have to start from the ground level. You have to start by giving and trying to add value to whoever you can find. Even if it's a local rapper, local talent. So that's what we did in our case. Basically, there was a really hot rapper from Harlem, New York, named Vinny Chase, who popped off a few years back. And, Kid Art was the primary director for this artist that really, popped off. And, from there, I think, people started to recognize, they started to recognize what was up, and more artists, labels started reaching out. So that's kind of how we started.
Yeah, just a lot of trial and error. You know what I mean? Like, kind of not putting limits on yourself and just kind of, seeing where you could take it. I think some of the best thing that we did in the beginning was, not quitting really, and just fell in love with movies, and here we are.
Where you gotta, be committed to the entire journey. I feel that Director X, you've seen technology shift more than any of us, from editing music videos on film to today where you can shoot an entire music video on an iPhone or a Samsung. But in your opinion, how has the music video production world changed in your eyes, and where do you see it in the next 5 to 10 years?
It all happened at the exact right time, honestly, because just as budgets were dropping and it was going to be impossible to shoot on film or shoot the way we used to, that's when digital technology came along. We were able to still live in a quality zone that was comparable until now, where, you can't tell who shot what on film, who shot what on digital now. You know what I mean? If you can, you're either a super duper DP or you're lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what it is. Yeah. So which is a good place to be. It opens it up. And it was a big barrier before, affording film, affording 35 millimeter, affording what you needed to do it. And there's still a barrier. Look, the lenses ain't cheap. You might have a great phone. And that was always the thing when these companies would come along like, hey, how do you shoot a video with our phone? I'm like, it's not just the phone, homie. It's the lens that and right now, lenses mean, that's what it is. And lenses you can't just go grab the lenses that we're using on these productions. There's still barriers to production that are important. But if you got an eye, if you got creativity, if you're going to push limits, then that's really what it takes. And people who can see that.
Makes sense. Art Brothers, I'm curious to know, how involved are you in the music video production process? Do you edit your own videos, or do you guys strictly direct, and why?
Well, we create the treatment, direct, edit, sound design, color. The goal is really to have my hands on everything. I mean, that's how I started. We didn't really start with budgets, so we would do everything, So, yeah. I mean, to this day, I still edit and color everything we do. Here and there, we've worked with others, for a few projects, but for the most part, we do the whole nine.
I want to say that's actually the beauty of music videos. See, the thing is, we're music videos looked down upon in the other realms of filmmaking, and then hip hop is looked down upon in the other realms of music, and then we're black folks on top of it. So we're in the hierarchy of how they perceive us. We're way down here. They don't they don't look at us the same. When the reality is, of course, hip hop changed the world. Hip hop rules the world. Hip hop has shown the power that it has. Black culture, again, is the culture of the world. It's shown the power that it has. In music videos, is a level of creativity and a level of creative control that no other part of filmmaking has, right? So, of course, the part they perceive as the fucking lowest is actually one of the highest. Because when it comes to looking at directors, if you want to know what a director is, I'd rather I see 3 of your music videos than 3 of your movies or 3 of your commercials, or 3 of your TV shows. Every other part of filmmaking, it's built into the structure of that filmmaking that a producer gets to come in and take it away from you. Unless you have a good relationship with your producer, right? Or, you know what I'm saying, you've managed to work it. That is how it goes. The Academy Award for Best Picture goes to the producers. You feel what I'm saying? So all these people looking down at us like, oh, music videos. When you get to real filmmaking, let us know. No, nigga, when you get to real filmmaking, let us know. Let me know when you finish the project from beginning to end. Let me know when you wrote it, shot it, colored it, cut it, finished it, and gave it to your client. You let me know when you've done that. You know what I'm saying? There's great talent in all parts of filmmaking, but we're not down here. We're not down here. You know what I'm saying? And I want to make that clear for people watching. Don't let other people's perceptions and the way they put that on us define us. You know what I'm saying? This is, again, I can tell your level of director from your music videos clearly. I can see how smart you are, how talented you are, how consistent you are. I need all the information I need to know. I know from your music video. I don't know that from your fucking commercials. I don't know that from your TV shows. And unless you wrote and direct that movie, I sure as fuck don't know.
Thanks. That's gospel. That's gospel. Director X, I have a few more questions for you. In the Life is Good music video, I noticed that you changed the credit at the end of the video to your government name. Are you moving away from the Director X alias?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I'm using my birth. Yeah. Listen, I'm Julien Christian Lutz. Look, there's a reality here. Director X is all good for hip hop in the streets and for Superfly. Yeah, but, the Harriet Tubman film directed by Director X don't sound right. You know what I'm saying? So I did it for long enough. I held on to that hip hop, like, I'm going to be Director X all the way through. Who am I doing that for? You know what I'm saying? That was fun. I'm 44 now. It's Julien Christian Lutz. Time to, because it's also part of what we do. We have to battle against the perception of, again, music videos, hip hop, Black culture, and then on top of it, then I'm in there with an actual street name. Feel me? Like it just puts you in a place that it's harder to have those other conversations. So as much as you have to walk through the world knowing who you are, what you're capable of, and that even if the world sees you as a lesser, you have to know you're not only more than what they think, you might be more than them. You know what I mean? You need to know where you are, but it also need to be smart, knowing like you walk into the boardroom with your jeans on, you've made a choice, you've made a statement. You feel me? And what's the statement I want to make? As my videos don't really represent, I don't make the music. I'm not a street man. You feel me? So who I am is not fully represented in Director X. It's fun, it's cool. They started calling me X when I was 15. I'm going to just carry that now because it's not a tattoo. So, yeah. Julien Christian Lutz. I'm gonna hit you with my full fucking power name, my good name.
Heard you. Dope. You were a visual consultant on the film Belly. Can you walk us through the thought process behind the blue lighting and the dark colors? What made you guys go in that direction?
Let's be realistic about what visual consultant on Belly means. It means I drew storyboards for a while. Then we went to Jamaica. This is a glimpse into being the protege Hype Williams. X, you're going to draw the storyboards for Belly. Great. And we're going to go to Jamaica and draw the storyboards. Okay, Hype, sure. This is not at all just a vacation. We're going to go into Jamaica and draw storyboards. Okay. All right, we're in Jamaica. Drawing storyboards, day 1. Okay, Jamaica, drawing storyboards, day 2. Okay, Jamaica, drawing storyboards, day 3. Who wants to go on a jet ski? Sure, Hype, let's get Let's get on a jet ski. Hype, order room service. Let's go work out. All right, so listen, man. That's Malik Saeed and Hype Williams. They don't need no visual consultation from Little X. You understand? So why is it dark and why is it blue? That's them. Like,
got it.
You know what I mean? Again,
got it.
Real art, but it's a great fucking. Huh?
So I have a couple open-ended questions. Art Brothers, Director X, either one of you guys can answer these. How does a director build a strong relationship with an artist and their team?
I definitely feel like that artists have to have some connection to the music they're making. You know what I mean? That director needs to understand the music. And they also need to know the history of the genre, because like, even like X talking about Belly, it's like, I should be watching this. This is that's crazy. Like, I think Belly and, all of X's videos, these are like huge landmarks in the genre together. So I think if a director's coming up today, they just need to know the aesthetic and the history and where to take it and where it should go. And, that's kind of the job, So I would think a strong connection with the music and the artists you're working with is a big factor in being a director, I feel. For sure.
Yeah, and I think some of it just kind of happens. For whatever reason, you have these moments, you connect with someone and y'all vibe, and the work you do, like Usher and I had that moment. That's what we worked together. We're in that vibe, close to the same age. It just worked. Our personalities clicked. Drake, same kind of thing. The vibe, the personalities, being not every time being from the same place. For some people, it might be under having that shorthand, right? Drake and I have that shorthand, have that history. That's what it like. There's always something that comes along like that. If you're lucky, just there's no rule book, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, the moment I start calculating things is when it doesn't happen. The things I got to do got to be very pure, right? It's almost like if I start calculating, I'm bad at math, and calculating the universe don't work for me. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a hit. It's not. Although I know people like that. I know certain artists are like, yeah, this record's a hit. And it's a hit. Like they, you know what I'm saying? They know it. I don't got that. I make it and put it. And anytime I start doing any kind of bigger thoughts or what this is going to mean for me or what, it just doesn't click like that. So, you know what I mean? That's really, if there's any advice to directors, is just go make the best art you can. Don't get it. Don't be on set like, oh, let me be like friendly with the manager. So like, at least maybe that works for you. That don't work for me. Trying to friend up people and, you know what I'm saying? Beg, like, I don't do none of that. Like, I make this art. If we click and we get along, great. But I make this art. And that ultimately is what you're there to do.
For sure. That's some dope advice. Our brothers, you guys, we were talking about colors and we were talking about Belly just now. You guys tend to have like a darker style of shooting. How do you describe like your style of directing, just your creative direction? And how do you think it's shifting the industry?
Oh man, it's just natural. It's just what came out. I mean, again, like X says, I agree with calculating it is really not the way to go about it. It's just what comes naturally. I guess we started doing what we liked, and then people gravitated to it. There's no real plan, Like it's like if we picked up a violin, whatever that sounds like, that's what it sounds like. So, we kind of did that with the camera.
And, there'd be those situations where the label would say, or different teams or different members would say, oh, we want it like this, or we want to flip up, that Belly intro video and try to do it, and those are the forced ones, kind of, trying to calculate it. It definitely loses its sauce. So we try to stay, behind that and just focus on what really is true with the record, with the visuals, with the feel, just and use that as a starting point.
So I feel like in a lot of these panels and these conversations, everyone's hyper focused on like these successes. Like, I want to talk a little bit about, your most challenging video that you've directed or edited. Can you guys share some stories if you have?
I mean, a story, I don't know if most challenging, but when you say that, the thing that actually comes to mind was the first edit on Let's Get It, the G-Dep, Black Rob, and P. Diddy video. And I don't know if you all remember that one with the Harlem Shake and the sets. So we did our first edit, and we're like, oh, wow, this is great. This is terrific. And Puff saw it, and he wasn't happy. And this is like a lot of interesting edits have come out of I'm not happy with that responses. and we went back in it and then started playing with the resizes and things like that, like, you know, and that is what clicked it and took it to this other level. There's things happening in that video that weren't just what you're used to. So, I mean, that really sticks out. Even the short film I did with Kirby for Pierre Moss, you know, Seven Mothers. If you see that, it's just very non-linear all over this kind of place. When we first did the edit, it was a lot more linear, like this scene and then that scene, and then he meets this mother, and like it was just, we went through these steps. And Kirby's like, it's too linear, it's too, and we went in and started messing with it. And then my executive producer, whose background is editing, actually saw it and had a dream. And then, can I do something? And he went in and really fucking took it to this another level. And, you know, it became something great from that process of saying, I'm not happy. So it's also a lesson in respecting your client, right? There's a real temptation in the arts to feel like your client's always wrong and that they're just messing up the process, and how much better things would be if they just not say things to you. But it's finding this balance between hearing what they're saying and doing what they tell you. If you do what they tell you, then you're going down a dangerous road. But if you hear what they're saying, you can go back in on the project and go, okay, because they're connected. I believe that you're ultimately, everyone who's getting a paycheck from the job is spiritually connected to it. So the things they say, there's something in there that you have to find. And you try it. Again, now we're working on computers. It doesn't mean anything to try and edit and flip something up or try some coloring and you can try these things, right? But if you start doing what they tell you to do, well, then you're not doing what they asked you to do, which is to bring your creativity and bring your talents to their job. They didn't hire you to do what they say. They hired you to be you, right? And sometimes people give suggestions because they're just trained to think that way. I don't like it. What if we did this? You know what I'm saying? They don't feel it's proper just to say, I don't like it. When for the client, that's actually your most powerful thing. I told when Irv Gotti started directing, I said the most powerful thing he could say is, I don't like it, and just don't say nothing else, and let everyone else figure it out till you like it, right? That's because that's also what they're there for. So that's a big lesson. That very fine point. And I went through rough years doing both, not listening, then doing what I'm told, and now being in this place where I hear what people are saying and I look for what it is they're seeing. And at the end of the day, not only do you have a better relationship with your client and a better work environment, you get better work. And that's always got to be the end goal. Is it going to make better work?
All right, brothers, what about you?
What do you think? Which one?
And I think the Drake Meek video.
Yeah, I guess that was challenging.
Timing.
Mm.
You know, like, I mean,
I guess.
I mean, I think the Drake and Meek video was pretty was a great mountain to climb, and it was as far as the level of creativity we were able to do on that, and Kid Art was able to lace that, but also just the logistics and the time frame of something that big, and with VFX and a large scale team, and multiple day shoot. You know, I think that was you know, it's really like going to war. You know, it's really like having the game plan, get the troops in line, and be the most talented group of people you could find that love what they do. You know, and you get and you just really just start marching. And I think with that one, we were able to do things that even surprised us. You know, Kid was, you know, how he was kind of orchestrating the squad and you know, and it was amazing to see. It was amazing to experience. But
yeah, like, for sure. And really, the record going bad was such a serious situation, and we knew we had a part of like hip hop history in our hands, and knowing that before doing it is, you know, a lot of weight. So really just, I guess the challenge was just staying focused and just kind of letting everything flow, because that's really the part of, you know, filmmaking is not getting in the way a lot of the times. And, you know, just, that was definitely a real one. Yeah.
Got you. Director X, if you can go back 10, 15 years, what advice would you give your younger self?
Meditate. I would tell my younger self to meditate. What that would do for your temper, your creativity, just your whole life. I would tell my younger self to meditate. You know, young me, the music industry was wild back then when I came in. So everyone was yelling and screaming at each other and on set and in offices. I mean, I came up when DMX punched Chris Lighty in the face. Like, that was a thing. Like, yo, like,
Wow.
Yeah, DMX. Like, I was at. So here's the story. I'm at Rockefeller Records this is when everyone had their own offices. So Bad Boy had their own little office. Rockefeller had their own office. Def Jam had their own office. So I'm at Rockefeller doing something, right? And I mean, it was wild. This might have been the same. It might have been the meeting where we're looking at a video, and Dame says, "I like that." And then someone else in the room goes, "Yeah, man, I like that too." And then Shaka, y'all know Shaka. Shaka turns to this dude and says, "Yo, get off this man's dick." That's what the music industry used to be. That was a normal conversation in the hip hop world. Like, yo, get off this nigga's dick, yo. Like, it was just wild. And then this when two-way pages just happened, and then someone opens up their two-way, goes, "Yo, DMX just punched Chris Lighty." Like, it was, but like, these were normal occurrences. So as crazy and wild as I was, everyone was crazy and wild. This was a legendary Kanye rant, you know what I'm saying, when he would have his tantrums. Like, this was the game. But if I had a time machine, I'd tell myself, go back and meditate, young man, and find the, you know what I'm saying? Find the center. Find your center in that.
Word, absolutely. Art Brothers, you guys mentioned, you know, for the Drake and Meek video, that was like, you know, you guys are working with a really big team. I want to speak about the importance of having a strong team. So Director X, Art Brothers, can we touch on what your like immediate team looks like?
For sure. I think, you know, like I said earlier, at one point, a director or any filmmaker needs to touch every job on set, from wardrobe, color, style, production design, art direction, just to understand and how to critique others and how to know what you need, because, you know, you won't really know what good sound design is until you really do it, or you don't, you know, you need to kind of get your hands dirty so you know how to do it right. Yeah, I mean,
and I would say you gotta, you know, you're really as strong as your weakest link. So getting a solid team is vital, and you know, there's a lot of players behind the lens that have to be coordinated, and not just, you know, you got to be creative, and you have to be, you know, sharp on your game, and you know, getting a team is important. It took us a few years to realize that, you know, but as you grow and, you know, opportunities come and budgets kind of start to expand, you start to be able to attract those, you know, that talent and those guys that would just, you know, and ladies that would just, you know, just get in the trenches and grind with us. And yeah, super important. We have a nice network here, Miami, LA, and also like a solid team that's, you know, kind of.
Yeah, they got to be ready for war. You know, it's like it's like an attitude thing as well on set. It's like, if everybody's on the same frequency, like, magic can really happen. But it's like, you know, it's definitely an attitude thing to search for as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And shout out to our one of our co-founders, Andrew Gore, Cherry Pictures. Get it.
I would say echoing a lot what you're saying, I came up under Hype, and Hype knew every department, right? So whether you've touched every department or you studied every department, you need to know every department. And starting with cinematography, you need to be able to talk about lights. You need to be able to talk about color. Then all the way through, you might not need to know how to, put a flat together for a set, but you need to have these conversations about how to translate and speak their language if you're going to get your vision across. Because not only is it a matter of speaking to the people in their language, what you will find, especially when you're starting, some people will try and use your lack of knowledge as a way to get their way, right? So you have to be aware of that, to know what you're dealing with and stick to it. So you got to go study. And that means when I was young, I went to the bookstore and I bought books, makeup, lighting equipment, just everything. Whatever you get your hands on, buy the books, read them. Now you have the internet. You can be your own YouTube. There's cinematographers that are literally teaching you how to shoot, like this light goes there and this was the f-stop and this was the shot. So there's now you have all these resources to dive into. Then as far as building your team, I think what's important, and actually just realizing this now as I look back, you need to work with someone that's on your level. The best possible person you can find that for them, that job that's happening means what it means for you. You understand what I'm saying? Oh boy, we're shooting a movie. This is my first movie. And you need a guy that's like, yeah, this is my second movie. This is my third movie. Because what happens when you go and because of the temptation, well, wow, what about this guy? He's done 50 movies. He's done 10 movies. He's done 25. He's done big movies. And now he might do mine. Right? So you can go and say, oh, well, let me go with this guy that has all this experience. But what you're happening is your movie ain't an exciting come up. Your movie is this fucking job he has to do now because, you know what I'm saying? You need to ask that question. If a big man going to walk up on your team, why are you, you know what I'm saying? Why is my second movie your 25th movie? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want that. You don't want some guy that's there doing the job, but in the back of his head, he feels like he slid down the ladder. You feel what I'm saying? Because that guy, you don't want that. You don't want that. You got to find the best possible person you can that is in that for them. This is a moment for us. This is something we're doing. We're excited. This is it. We're your peers. You know what I'm saying? You need to find a peer to work with across the board. Be very, very wary of senior people that are literally on the ground. Different if they're, you know what I'm saying? If they're where seniors should be, okay. You know what I'm saying? Cool. But if they right there with, no, I don't know. You feel what I'm saying? Is their heart in it the way it should be? Let me tell you something. Joel Silver's heart was in it for Superfly. You feel me? We got music from Future like in the middle of the night. I'm like, okay, well, we got the music. Tomorrow we're going to see. Hey, I'm on my way to the studio. You coming? That's Joel Silver. So again, not that a senior can't be about it, but if you got it, your safest band. Again, that's the level above. As far as who your crew is and who you rocking with, you need folks that this is the success of this means they step up in the world, right? Not the fact that they're doing it in their own mind as a proof that they've stepped down.
Wow, you guys have been dropping gems this entire time. I have a few more questions because we're getting to the end of our time. But obviously, the camera has taken all of you guys to some really incredible places and put you guys in important rooms. What would you say is the most amazing place your camera has taken you?
I'm gonna jump in while y'all think that one over. Yeah, I got decades on y'all, so I could throw some. India, Jaipur, India. I did a video for Boys to Men right after 9/11 called "Color of Love," and what I did is I got all the directors at the time. So I got Hype, Benny Boone, Chris Robinson, and myself. And we all took a member of Boys to Men and went to a different part of the world. So Benny went to Ghana, Chris Robinson went to Puerto Rico, Hype went to Japan, and I went to India, and then I shot the bit when they all came to New York together, and that was the thing. Going to India, like, again, because you go sexy places, doing sexy things. There was nothing sexy about motherfucking Jaipur, India in 2001. It was rough. It was hot and rough and mean. You know what I'm saying? But seeing the world like that really showed me a lot. And again, like, I've been to Jamaica. It's amazing to travel the world and see different things. It's one of the most important things in life is traveling and to see how the world works. And that was a big one, to see how a place like Jaipur works. That was a big deal. And then afterwards, we'll maybe tell another story about that video. But that's as far as travel, Jaipur, India.
I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't even know where I am half the time shooting these videos, so I don't even know. I'm just working on the video.
I feel that.
I don't know. I mean, it's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't even know where we went right now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I can't recall it. So many.
If you guys can't put your finger on it, it's totally fine. I got some other questions for you in the meantime.
Oh, that's a hard one.
It's all good. It's all good. So
Y'all got to start pulling the hype
question.
and going places through the video. That was a Hype Williams classic right there. Hey, let's shoot this in Trinidad. Wait, Hype, don't you just want to go to Trinidad? Yeah, no. It's good. It's right for the video. This is.
Yeah. I'm about to take big notes on this. All my team turns New York.
Yeah, man. When we travel again, I was actually really disappointed back in the 2000s that we didn't go to enough places. We were spending a lot of money, and we didn't use that as an opportunity. Just to, like, let's go to the Sahara. Let's go to the Great Wall of China. Let's just go different places. We never did that. But we still went some places. We went to Paris once and all that shit. But like I said, bro, start writing it. Put your bucket list in your treatment. put them together.
I like that.
Facts. My last question is, what's some advice for some young, aspiring music video directors in the game right now?
Man, I mean, when I first picked up a camera, it was on a mini DV tape, and it was a GL1, and I'm talking about, this feels more, and today this feels like an old projector 1906 camera. So today the technology is so advanced, it's so much easier to get a vision out than it ever was. And I just think people really need to recognize that, especially if you're coming into film, on just the accessibility of just what you can achieve now. I would say just learn the craft and just watch a whole bunch of movies.
And I'll add to that by saying, just try to add as much value to people as possible, and even if you don't get paid for it at first, you just keep going. That momentum will build until you get there. And, when we started, we were doing videos for like nothing, but we knew the end game. And we also saw people that were just like, oh, you're only going to pay me $500. All right, I'm not doing it. Like, we started from 500 up. So, it really, you really got to look at it as an investment and don't take it personal in the beginning. Then when you put in that work and you build value, that's, you start putting points on the board, and, it changes up. But I would definitely say just try to go out there and don't even think about the cash at first. Just, add opportunity and see where you can fit in and add value.
So, Dr. X, do you have some advice?
Yeah, again, meditate, start meditating. It's good for your entire life. It'll be good for your work. And then as well, it's, studying. I've said it before, but you have YouTube. I have a playlist of over 400 to 500 videos about filmmaking, story structure, Like you need to dig in heavy on the craft and just live in it and find the part that you love. Like I'm not looking at makeup tutorial videos as much as makeup is important. I'm doing things about story structure and character because that's where my head is at now. You know what I'm saying? But I still love the visual side of filmmaking. I have not a playlist where a bookmark. You know, you have categories. I got a bookmark category on my Instagram for art, all kinds of it. And I can just scroll through it and be like, you can't see it, but in front of me are the, you know what? Let me show y'all. Y'all gonna wait 1 second. Let me show you something. My bookshelf. I learned this from Lutz, the guy who directed Belly. Okay, in his office, he had books like this. Okay, and in the books, he did this.
Jeez.
Feel me? Old school. Old school. There you go. So, before we had internet and before we had bookmarks, we had real magazines, and you'd have to go and fucking tear the pages out of the magazine and I have 6 of these books, right? And I still have a bunch of images I never glued in here. So here's the key about music video. We are the child of fashion photography or of photography and narrative films. It's the two things together. And it's another thing that none of those guys can do. Give me a white room and a guy in a great outfit, I can make something, right? I can light it like a photo shoot. I don't have rules. I don't have a movie has an obligation to story, right? But a music video doesn't have that obligation. You might have you decide the obligation. Is the obligation of this video to the song? Or is it to the artist, right? Am I here to make this person a star, or am I here to make you cry because he's talking about his girlfriend that left her? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And decide what it's going to be, and then vary it, right? Sometimes the star overpowers the record. Sometimes the record but there's both. It's a little balancing act, right? Because there's always a star element. Even in for a video where it's a weirdo who don't want to be in the video, that's his star element, is that he doesn't want to be in it. Don't be fooled, right? That's still a matter that's going on. So you can decide what it's going to be. Are you just going to be fashion photography, or are you going to be a narrative film, right? Which is why you need to study all this stuff. You need to be studying fashion photography. You have to be You have to be studying film structure. Because you're going to tell a story, you need to tell a story. You've made that decision. So all these things are going on, but you need to live in this art. You need to live in this art. You feel me? And that is the most important. Again, you don't have to be in all parts of it all the time. Your interest's going to shift. That's why I still have a bunch of pages that I've never glued into books. I lost interest in doing that, and it shifted to something else, right? But because I have that as my foundation, right? I don't need to keep on ripping out images of interesting homes or interesting buildings for my art direction, because I'm good. I got that belt. You know what I'm saying? But I do need to go do it on story structure. So that's everything these guys saying is for real, and what I'm telling y'all, that you have to live in this thing, pull these references, love your art, and then one day you'll be the ninja in the movie, just matrixing this motherfucker and able to go through it. But live in that moment, man.
Oh, man, I really wish we had more time to chop it up, but we're at the end. Art Brothers, Director X, thank you so much for sitting down for this conversation. Once again, I'm Goldie Harris. This is the Select Conference powered by United Masters. And that's it for today. Thank you guys so much.